Well, good evening and welcome to Gromus's World Part 2. Tonight I want to focus on primarily this painting and another one, but I'll throw in a couple more as well. This is really one of my favorite paintings. I had to come back to it, as well as the others that I'll show you tonight. And I'm not sure when I'm going to do a Part 3. It'll probably be down the road sometime, but I had to get in here and do Part 2. I was thinking about it. And this is one of the best characters, most interesting characters that I've created, so. And another thing, too, about my shows and about my channel, about all my programming on the channel, you know, often I was looking for a program where it would be kind of spooky, something like Twilight Zone or Night Gallery, or, you know, something with that kind of feeling. And even though this is not a movie, there's no actors or any of that stuff like those shows, but I often wanted something pleasant to watch at night before I go to sleep. Some people might not consider it pleasant, but I'm not talking about a disturbing scare, but something kind of fun and kind of delicious, kind of, you know, a little spooky, but where it's entertainment. Not where it's so disturbing you're sick, you don't like it, but something where it's fun, entertainment, and it doesn't really go over the line as far as I'm concerned. So, like with the Twilight Zone and the Night Gallery and shows like that, and some of the older horror movies, you kind of had it was more fun, and that's what I was kind of looking for. So, I hope I can bring some of that to you through my programming, because that's what I was hoping to see. So I figured I probably have to do it myself, because I was looking for something similar to what I'm doing on this channel, and I couldn't really find it, so I had to do it myself. Even though I've never been comfortable getting on the internet or going on YouTube or anything, I figured, gee, it might be fun. It's a little adventure, and I might as well try it. And so that's what I try to bring to you. Programs, episodes, and then like with this Gromus's World series that I've been doing, Part 1 and now Part 2. Part 3 might be down the line, but I figured it's kind of in that same mood and that attitude, and I wanted to give you that kind of atmosphere that I've been talking about, kind of a fun, little spooky, little mysterious, and I'm trying to bring that to you when I show you my paintings and bring these shows to you. So let's get into Gromus's World Part 2, particularly this painting and then a couple others. Let's get started. Yeah, one of the things I really like about this painting is the fog. Really like the fog. And then the little light coming down here, like the mist. The silhouette. This painting's all about the silhouette. It's a nice mixture of impressionism and reality, because the shapes look real, and then of course with the silhouette being exaggerated, the trees being extra dark, I exaggerated stuff, so that's where the impressionism comes in. With these structures in the background, makes a nice background. Of course, I got my columns. Ancient Greek, kind of Roman Greek pillars and columns. How would you like to meet this guy? I know I wouldn't. Especially on a spooky cold night, which this appears to be very spooky and very cold. How could you get away from him? He's about 9 feet tall, 8 or 9 feet tall. Be satisfied with 8, but 9 is kind of what I was shooting for. How can you beat this guy? When you have, obviously, I've showed you this painting before. This is really one of my favorite paintings. It's really awesome. Let me get a little more light on him. There's a little more light. Yeah, I love the colors. And I really like how the pink and the green, kind of the faded light green in here. And you got a doorway in the background, an opening. And his little crest or emblem here symbolizing that this is his domain. There's someone who's very unhappy at the situation he's in. I have to pray for the poor soul. This guy here will not stop. He's not a good character. He's a very dark character, but very interesting. And he never sleeps, so how can you wait for him to fall asleep so you can sneak up on him? Gromus never sleeps. Sometimes he's not as strong as at other times because he hasn't absorbed the energy from the prisoners, because maybe he doesn't have as many prisoners at a particular time. He doesn't have enough, so he's not at full strength. So he might not be as strong when he has fewer prisoners. But still, he doesn't sleep because he's in the supernatural type realm. I guess he would be like in the fallen angel type realm where they don't need to full-on sleep. They can get kind of tired, but where they can't full-on sleep. Well, I mean, I don't know if they get tired at times or not, but just by some of the reading I've done. But yeah, this is one of my favorite paintings here. And of course, he's trapped another city inside a bubble. You can kind of see the outline of the bubble here, and it's probably pretty impenetrable. But this is kind of a what-if painting. I'm not saying he's that powerful. I just thought it would be fun to do a series of paintings like this. I wanted to show you this painting. This is one of my favorites. This is some reality with the raindrops, and then some of the shapes looks real, but there's a lot of impressionism in here too. This is saying a lot. This is his prison, underground prison. And what I wrote here is really cool. I'll read it. There is a shadow watching, a giant in the dark, waiting to feed on your energy. His name is Gromus. And there he is with all those prison cells. Look at all those prison cells here, and then as you go up in the floors, the stories, and the cells look smaller, but each painting varies. I really like this one. You have these cells here where he's probably got people trapped in there, being the evil creature that he is, terrible creature that he is. I'll just zoom in on him a little bit, show you his shape a little more. It's different in some of the paintings. This is so cool. This is just so awesome. Sorry not to talk about my own work so much, but I'm really happy with this one. And I think the rain and then the water on the ground of his murky prison really makes a nice effect. It really sets the atmosphere that I wanted. One of my favorite paintings. And being that he's such a dark character, I made Euclides. I showed you that in Gromus's world, the first one, to fight him. I don't have that painting with me right now, so, but yeah, I made a character, a very talented warrior, very strong warrior named Euclides, a Athenian warrior, to fight him, because Gromus's story starts back in ancient Greece, It might have started earlier before that, but I kind of left certain things to the imagination. And I've showed this painting before. Talks about his story here. Night had fallen. It was the late summer of 421 BC in Greece. A shadow was lurking behind the pillars and within the walls. A watcher of people who wanted to pull them into his dimension, into his murky prison. Gromus was his name. So this particular story starts in about 421 BC, but his origins could have gone back before that. I kind of left the story open a little bit so it plays with the imagination, and then the audience can fill in the gaps. Whatever audience is watching this, or whoever knows about this story eventually, this character. This guy's in a deep sleep. Gee, I love the roses here, and the fog mixed in with the bushes. There he comes out of his dimension to snatch up another victim to take him into his murky prison. Yep, Gromus is always at his work. He never sleeps. He's in the supernatural realm, in a supernatural class of creatures that don't need sleep. But he's not always at full strength. The fewer the people in his prison, he's not as strong. But the more people in his prison, he's stronger. I figure I go back to this one since I wanted to focus mostly on this one tonight, but I figured I'd throw a few more in. Just the silhouette and the fog really makes this piece, this painting, stand out. And then the light that comes down. I was inspired by a few movies where the light would come in from the trees. I think Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, when Heather Langenkamp is walking down the sidewalk when she's in the dream. I love that part. It's the music is really enchanting. It's really cool, and the trees look beautiful, and the bushes, and then how the light comes in, just like this. I might have exaggerated it a little bit, but that movie and then a couple other movies inspired me. And then just in real life and seeing light where I used to work, there was some fog, often some fog, because I walked outside quite a bit. And then there were some street lamps behind some bushes, and at night you can see the light from the lamps, from the street lights coming through the bushes and the foliage, and it created a similar effect. And on a foggy night it was probably even more so, even more than this a little bit. But this is cool. The fog. I wanted to get a nice view of the roots here. Wanted the roots to be covered a little bit in fog in certain areas, and then they come out of the fog too, so they're a little covered here, and then they come out in this area. Tried to make his hands the right size. I think his hands it should have been a little, just an inch bigger, maybe just a little bigger, because I want one thing about this character, his hands are a little oversized. So if there was a human being his size, they wouldn't have hands as big as him. So I think his hands, These are big, but I think they should have been just a little bit bigger. They're a little bit big for even, I wanted him a little bit big even for his height. I wanted Gromus's hands to be extra large. These trees are probably much taller than they look because he's so tall. Got the night train, midnight train to Gromus's world. Got those pillars, I love them. I just like the silhouette, so I had to bring this painting in. One of my all-time favorites and one of the earliest paintings of Gromus. Reaching out towards someone else here. Come on, lady, get up before it's too late. Yeah, in movies, I really like when it's good fighting evil. I don't want evil to win except for a little season, and then at the very end, good finally wins. I like that old formula. I don't like leaving a theater or a movie with a bad taste in my mouth. At least I get a bad taste when evil wins, but sometimes dark endings are pretty fitting, though, and they're pretty fun, like John Carpenter's The Thing. I thought that was a good ending, actually. You didn't know who was infected. You didn't know who was the Thing. You didn't know if Kurt Russell could have turned into the Thing. You just didn't know, and I thought it was, and I think it was Keith David was the other actor. If my memory might not be serving me correctly, but the other actor, I think it was Keith David. They looked at each other, and they're both kind of suspicious. And then that music was awesome. I think in that case, I think that ending was good. That was really a good movie. One of my favorites of all time. I like what they did with the photography, the music, the story, and the characters. Impressionism time. What does it say here? I didn't even... When deep sleep falls on us, then out comes Gromus. That's pretty simple. For some reason, I'd forgotten, drew a blank what I wrote there. This painting's probably about 7 years old. I can't remember. 6 to 8. Maybe 6 years, I don't know. I tried guessing, but yeah, this is Impressionism. This is a representation of real life rather than real life. I like to put the emotions on the canvas sometimes rather than reality, and it's exaggerated and it makes a lot more style and character. And the expression on this person's face, I love it. You can tell they're in a deep sleep with the mouth open, and then you got the eyelids closed. I love that. And you got this dark, shadowy hand coming out from the walls. Gromus coming for another victim. Terrible. I gotta put some more heroes in my paintings. So you have the positive and negative. Yeah, I really like this, and I made his body less defined in here around the shoulders and everything to give him that mysterious monster type look. Almost like this Grendel cartoon, or this cartoon about Beowulf I saw with Grendel, and they kind of made Grendel look mysterious and dark. And that stuck with me. So I kind of made him undefined here, except for his skull probably and his ear. But the rest is almost like your imagination takes you. There are those vines again. I like putting vines in. And those sharp rocks, those craggy catacomb type looking rocks. Yeah, I put vines under the, kind of around the bed, just to give it more character, add more character to this piece. I think it's a fine touch. I just want to see the detail on that hand. See if I can get him in the light a little bit more. I move the painting over a little bit. Just see if I can get more. Well, it's a dark painting. I wanted it to be dark, and he comes out from his murky domain. Just think about that by itself. These sharp rocks. That plays with my imagination. I love it. It makes this a painting that's more deep. Makes me wonder, makes me imagine, what does his place look like that he comes from? I know I've painted the prisons and all that, but these rocks, and what's the rest of it? It adds more mystery, I think, to this painting. Really a nice touch. I just had to take another peek at this one. I showed it before in another video, one or two, but I just had to look at it again. It's one of my favorite paintings. Gromus has now trapped 2 cities inside a bubble. A very impenetrable bubble. There they are. There's those little vines. They're smaller now. Everything looks smaller next to Gromus. I like the detail in the hands. And you could see the closer he is to this light, the brighter his hands are illuminated where the light hits them. I like that. Really like it. And then you got the prison here in the background. This is one of my favorite paintings. Had to take another look at it. It's sucking us in. Oh no, here we go. Oh, we made it out. I had to look at this one again. Gromus visits the 11th century. That's what it says down there. No. He's not having a good night. He shouldn't have slept that deep. He should have slept with, well, even if he slept with one eye open, all it takes is one grab from this big guy here. So what could he have done? I didn't give the man much of a chance, did I? He probably doesn't think I'm a very nice guy. What's in that house? Let's check it out. No. Anyway. He's definitely not happy. I think he hasn't filled out his customer satisfaction card yet. So there's that train again. Hey, he's trying to catch the train. Are you fast enough to catch that train, buddy? Yeah, this is really, I like this. It's got that kind of 12th, 13th, 11th century type look to it. That's why I made it look the way it does rather than focusing on too much reality. Really like the castle and the houses and the clouds with the exaggerated lightning, the little yellow flag. Go back to this one. I really like this one too. There's his evil dogs, giant dogs who watch the prison and attack anyone that Gromus wants them to attack. They're always roaming the prison yard, walking up and down wherever they want. Yep, there he is in the light. And then there's a tunnel with all these strange lights. I kind of wanted him to have a look of lights that you would recognize, but then also mixed in with those other lights that don't look very common. Kind of something otherworldly, like in another dimension. That tunnel of lights. Where does it lead? Is it a way out? Or is it another way into his prison? And a person could potentially fall off here. Maybe go over the edge down here. Might be a drop off. Went back to this painting because this is one of the ones I wanted to show you tonight, because I haven't showed it very much. I didn't spend much time showing it in my other videos, if at all. I can't remember if it showed up in Gromus Part 1 or not. Maybe it was Gromus's World. I might have showed it in Gromus's World, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time on it tonight. Yeah, I hung this one up at work for a little while. People thought it was interesting. You got to be into this kind of thing, though, too. I hung up some of my nature paintings there, so there'd be something for all tastes. Some peaceful paintings that I like, too. But yeah, the prisons here, I gave everything kind of an unsteady dream type look. And then a wet look, so you can see the ground here like there's water, reflections in this his murky underground prison. It's almost dreamlike. It's almost dreamlike, the setting. And he's outlined here. Goes all the way around. And then not really here. It's almost, I gave it a misty, like he fades to give it more mystery. Yeah, that would be a great scene in a movie right there. You can hear him walking, like when he walks, you can hear the echo of each step as he's walking towards you. But this painting was my primary focus tonight. Really enjoy this one. I like them all. I don't really have a favorite out of all the ones I've showed you tonight, but this is definitely probably in the top 3. This one here, 3 or 4. I really like this one. Remember a co-worker of mine, when he saw it, he said, "This wakes you up." he told me, "This really wakes you up." Gromus's World Part 2 tonight. In the future, I'll probably make a Part 3, but it might be a little ways off. I'm not sure on that, but I enjoy them. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at these paintings with me, Gromus's World 2. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll try to be back as soon as I can with another video on a cold, cool night. And don't let this guy get you. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.